Welcome to my channel. On this video, I'm going to give you a full tour and review of the Sturbridge, Massachusetts Thousand Trails location. My objective with these videos is never to roast or devalue a campground location, but rather just to share my personal experience. By the end of this video, I'm going to tell you if I would personally come back, what is the value of this campground in terms of the actual amenities and services that are provided, and also how well is the registration set up? How easy is it for you to arrive, go to your spot, and get set up so that you can start enjoying your stay. I'm a full-time RV lifer and traveler of almost 8 years. So if you're interested in travel or starting your own business or starting RV life as your own business, then feel free to subscribe and follow for more videos. All right, let's get to this video about the Sturbridge, Massachusetts location. I'm doing this on my electric bicycle and recording the audio later, so don't worry. So this is the entryway to get into the Sturbridge, Massachusetts Thousand Trails. There's a little welcome kiosk space there where you have to enter in your code. When you arrive for the first time, you're going to press the button on the walkie-talkie to call yourself in, and then they'll lift up the gate. After that, they'll give you a code that you'll be able to use to get in and out, like pretty much every Thousand Trails location. So as I'm riding my e-bike down this hill, you can see that there is a registration spot. When I arrived at this campground, I simply stopped my RV there. I don't think it's the best spot to have to stop at, especially if you're in a 30+ foot RV and then RVs just kind of line up. I will say in terms of arrival, that's the spot, and I never saw more than 2 RVs in line. From there, somebody from the staffing will come down and they will tell you where to park. So here I'm going off to the right, as you can see in the map, and then going off to the left. These camp spots seem to be some combination of seasonal people who are obviously there all year round or most of the year, and then a few spots that are actually people staying in the campground. I, to be honest with you, am really glad I was not over here because they were playing some quinceañera type of music so loud. I love the Hispanic community. I love all people, but the music was so loud. If I had been over there, I would have been making a complaint. And you'll know from being on my channel, subscribing to my channel, that I am a little bit of a campground Karen. If I need to call, I will call. So as you can see, the area is very wooded. I would say they either are spraying or doing some sort of treatment, because there wasn't a lot of mosquitoes, which I'm very thankful for, especially because the pond is right in the middle. And I'm gonna get to the pond. Just you wait. I have some things to say about this pond. So this is the last part of this first loop to the right as you come in. Again, a great mixture of spots for different sized campers, but for the most part, it was about 70-30 people who are actually there seasonally. So now I'm riding my bicycle past the welcome space and into another space where you have rental cottages. Now, most of these people had been here for a little bit of time. This guy right in front of me, I think his name was John, and there's my RV there. And then on the left here, all of these people live 20 minutes away, and they come here every single weekend and throughout the week. So this is also a combination of seasonal and annual sites and people just casually visiting. Now, I will say I got a spot right next to the Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi was just the traditional fast wave Wi-Fi. I think it was $15 for a week, and it worked really, really good because I was literally plugged into the station next to where it was, placed at. So the guy behind me was also super nice. I do find that people in Thousand Trails campgrounds are very, very friendly and are willing to chit chat with you, hang out with you, get to know you. The people who were there seasonally or on an annual site, not so much, but hey, whatever. So this campground did have 2 playgrounds. I will say they were both pretty dirty in terms of like upkeep. Again, you're getting ready to see the pond up close, and I have things to say about this pond related to E. coli and other things that I need to say at length that we're gonna get there. So now I'm really going like back into the spot. Like I actually never went up here until I went to go make this video, and this was also more people with seasonal sites. This space up here was actually really secluded, and I would say it is probably the quieter spot that you could stay at on the campground. Even as I was going up there to make this video, I didn't really see any people. There were a couple people just outside hanging out. I am going to talk about the E. coli and the testing and the water and all of those things closer towards the end of the video with a different clip. So for now, I'm continuing up the hill to the more secluded, wooded camping spots. I would say that in terms of amenities, they have a variety of amenities that you would expect to find at a Thousand Trails. Most of them either don't work or are broke, or are run down anywhere nearby. So I'm happy that I came here because that's kind of the vibe of what I'm doing right now. Like I'm living on the road full time. I'm traveling full time in my RV, mostly staying at Thousand Trails and reviewing them as I go. But I really don't understand in this particular instance why people come here. Will I be coming back here? I guess we'll find out at the end of the video. So I'm not quite sure what this space was really meant for. Maybe just like a pull-out spot. There was a hiking trail off into the distance. I'm not sure where it goes, so I didn't choose to go hiking there for fear of getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. But I'm going to continue to ride down here. You can see that people have some like long-term rental spots, little cottages off to the left. These people seem like this is the spaces that are offered for people staying short term, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Most of these people were not set up here for long periods of time. And overall, I would say this is probably the ideal space if you are, a couple wanting some privacy, or, if you have a family, I would highly recommend staying in the section where my RV was posted, because that's where the other children are. If your children are wanting to play with other children, wanting to be close to the playground, then that is my recommendation. At the very end, what you're seeing here is another hiking trail that goes off into the distance, and then I'm simply going to turn around and go down the hill back to where I came from. All right, now I'm going to take you into the game room. The game room did have completely free games, which I would say was a plus, because you don't want to have to, chip out extra money when you're traveling with your kids. They already asked for everything. They have tables that were actually like nice and, clean. Some of the games were broken, and I will say that a lot of the games were child size. As you can see, it's not like a normal skee ball length table. They had foosball, which was normal size, ping pong, which was normal size, and air hockey, which was kid size. So this is kind of the lodge space. They had a flat screen TV up where kids were coming in and watching cartoons, and it does have a really peaceful overlook of the space. The children were living their best life swimming in this water. Kids, my son included, kids from all over, just swimming the summer away. All right, well, now let's talk about this water. This is a man-made pond. They have to test this water through the health department every single Monday. They don't get the results back for at least 2 days, right? At least until Wednesday. When my son was there was no regulations on swimming in the water. You know, everybody was having fun. It was fine. I knew nothing about a weekly testing. And then as soon as we got ready to leave, I saw a sign up at the beach and it said, do not swim, high risk of E. coli. And I was like, what? And then as I was reading the sign, there were actually people in the water swimming. But because they didn't bother putting the sign in Spanish, the Hispanic family that was swimming in the water didn't think anything of it. They walked past that sign, didn't know what it said, so they didn't bother reading it. I ended up using Google Translate to communicate to them that there was a high risk of E. coli. They jumped out of the water, went to their RV and took a shower and came back. And I was like, what is happening? And so I sat there, as you see me here, reading my book, minding my business. And a lady comes up with her dog. Her dog starts getting in the pool, drinking the water. She didn't see the sign. Another lady comes up, puts her baby, her 3 to 4 month old baby in the water and didn't see the sign. I'm like, at this point, I'm like, you know, I'm basically a lifeguard because I'm literally just sitting there keeping people from getting in the water. So I go to the front desk and I say, hey, move the signs closer to the water. Okay, move the signs closer to the water and put them in Spanish. And I had to go back multiple times to communicate to them how the message they were trying to convey about danger was not being conveyed, and that I was sitting there trying to prevent people from potentially getting sick. The other problem was that after the water was found to be tested with high risk of E. coli, I never got any communication stating that that was the case. Mind you, after I left a review on TripAdvisor for Viator, per their request, you know, you stay somewhere, they ask you, like, please leave a review. Bet I'm going to leave a review. You asked for this. And so they call me and they say, oh, sorry, your email was entered incorrectly. My son was swimming in a water full of E. coli for a week, and you entered my email incorrectly in the communication to tell me about it. So I just felt that there was a lot of negligence. Personally, I just didn't think it was a good vibe. And they were just really nonchalant about the whole thing. And the manager who called me after the fact said, you know, thank you for your review. Going forward, we're going to barricade the water when it has to get shut down. And my thought process, correct me if I'm wrong, is if your water has to be tested on a weekly basis for E. coli, people need to know that. If the water was tested last week and has E. coli in it and nobody should get in the water, and in the week after that, it tests clean for E. coli, people should know before their kids get in the water that last week it had high risk of E. coli. What does it have, like medium risk of E. coli this week? Low risk of E. coli? Definitely no risk of E. coli. Come on. So I have a lot of issues with this campground. In terms of amenities, I'm going to say 2 stars. Here is a photo of what most of the tragic 9-hole putt-putt mini golf course looked like. It was so dirty. Most of the signs were broken. Most of the signs were faded. It's not at all to roast this campground. My goal is to share an authentic experience that I had and to encourage them, as I did in my emails and on the phone calls, to do better, because this campground is run down. There's no pool, there's no hot tub, and the water that you can swim in or that your children can swim in has E. coli often. The laundry is broken. Most of the games are child size and also broken. And I think the best thing about this RV park was that there were a lot of kids out, playing outside, and my kid really loved that. However, I will say at one point, a lady who worked there rode up in her golf cart and came to talk to some of the seasonal people, and I guess somebody made a complaint about the kids being in the street playing, even though that's the only place for them to play, and all of the parents were sitting right out there watching. And like, we're not talking about, they weren't shooting the craps. They were playing red light, green light, So like, the yard spaces at the RV spots are really small, and it just kind of seemed like, some other campground Karens were not super happy about the kids playing in the street. So I don't know. Personally, would I go back? Absolutely not. I hope that they improve the circumstances here. Most of the reason why I would not return here has to do with all of the broken or busted or rundown amenities. And then just in addition to that, like, unless you just really want to be on a campground for a week to 2 weeks, there's just really nothing to do in the area. I'm not always looking for super touristy places, but it was hard to find a decent restaurant. Google reviews are pretty lenient with restaurants, in my opinion, and I had trouble finding a decent restaurant with over 4 stars. So yeah, I would say, if you want to come here, or you're already planning on coming here, you already got your ticket, just know what you're getting yourself into. And I do hope that you have a great time, and I hope that Sturbridge 1,000 Trails gets it together and actually starts investing in their space and giving people the value that they're paying for. So yeah, until next time, I'll see you, and feel free to subscribe, like, and comment if you have thoughts and opinions. Love to connect with you. See ya.